Hood Rich Radio 96.7. The beat is the voice of DJ Scream. Moran is here. We got a special guest up in the building. Jidenna has returned to Hood Rich Radio.
Africa.
My African brother.
That's so funny. Yeah. My African brother from the motherland.
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm wonderful. I'm fantastic. I'm magnificent. Like I said to you earlier, I'm great.
You're great.
Doesn't mean I'm good all the time. Yeah.
Do you have any complaints?
Yes.
We'll be glad to hear it.
I got plenty, and I'm gonna list some for you. But my rule of thumb is only complain if it's funny or it's interesting.
Okay. So do you have a funny or interesting complaint for us?
Right now? No, I'll get to it though.
You get to it, okay.
Or something interesting floating around on the gram. They say your party last night was lit as hell.
Oh yeah. That was wild. There we go. I mean, here's my complaint then.
Let's complain.
Here's my complaint.
Why was your party so lit, sir?
Yeah. It was too sweaty.
Too sweaty.
Too litty.
Your party's lit.
Okay.
Exactly. And my complaint to there was a woman that hopped over the turntable, and then she dirty wine like right on it, and I was grinding, and she got on the table, and my DJ had to hold the Serato up while she finished, we finish our business. So that's my little complaint. What a terrible time.
Jesus
was so great. The basement was lit. Atlanta came out. The block was lines around the block. And sorry for the people that didn't get in, but I'm coming back for tour, so I'll be back in a jiffy.
There it is.
There it is. Now, since the last time you were here, bro, how do you feel about the emergence and the success of African music and Afrobeat and everything? Like, we already knew it was popping back home, but now it's like domestic. How you feel about it?
Well, that's great. I feel like I'm one of the artists that helped to pave the road on this side. Because I'm an African American. Of course, my dad's Nigerian, but I'm African American in the truest sense of the word. I feel like I am the in between, the bridge. So to see people and artists from the continent bring it over here and see us embrace it on this side, it's just a beautiful thing. From what Davido's done, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, to the entire Lion King project, to y'all spinning it, like it's like you hear that at every party now at this point.
It's necessary.
So that's huge. I think that we are now in a moment though that I actually think that hip hop music needs to look at the global black sounds to evolve. That's where I think it's going. That's what I think is actually happening. And I know it because I'm hearing the albums of artists before they drop, and I'm hearing like the Afrobeats influence on everybody's project. You know what I mean? I mean, you could look at even trappers here from this city still gonna do one or two joints like that.
They want that vibe, man. They want that vibe. Now, trending on social media everywhere, and you know this, and we quote, Jidenna says he is looking for wifey.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Well,
You in Atlanta now.
you
in Atlanta. It might be the best place.
The ratio is very high.
said, be careful.
Highly in your favor here.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like I spent the last couple of years trying to figure out how to maneuver in this game, and I've been reaching out to certain older heads from the last generation, figure out like how do they form relationships. Because for me, I'm not I'm not a hoe with this shit. That's what it comes down to. So I actually love connection, and so when I announce it, I'm serious. That wasn't like my dating, my invitation. It wasn't meant to be
There's
like that.
not gonna be a Jidenna love show.
Nah. Somebody asked me to do that though.
Wow.
Oh, it was you. Yeah. I mean, if the check is right, but yeah, that's where I'm at. That is what it is. I've been in monogamous relationships. I've been in polyamorous. Like I'm open.
We saw downstairs lines too.
Yeah, I'm open. I've done both. I got my flaws, but this is where I'm at. I'm looking. I'm hoping, and hopefully I'll figure it out in this world. I don't necessarily want to date another celebrity. I don't necessarily want to date another artist. If it happens like that, cool. But I'm honestly just opening myself, because before I was closed, for real.
Is there any criteria to who you spend your time and share your energy with?
Yeah, she gotta be intelligent, but not just not just street smart, not just book smart, just all types of smart, and be able to maneuver into different rooms. Because I might be in a room with an OG, with his heaters on the table, Like I might be in the White House with a president. You got to be able to do both and not just be quiet and pretty. I've never admired that. My sisters are beautiful women, but they are highly, highly intelligent. So I can't and they can maneuver any city. They're not afraid of nothing. The hoods here, the markets around in different cities in Africa, it is what it is. So that's what I want. I want a woman that can do that. I don't need the cook and clean, whatever.
She can't cook.
She better know how, because I can cook.
Right.
But I don't. That's old. That's old age.
It's played out.
All that, man. I'm not with that. This is a new age man, man. I'm not with. I'm not looking for that. I want the woman who's like, yo, we working so we can hire a chef if need be. I have a chef. I have somebody to clean stuff. I don't need you to do that. If you can't do that, then that's just weird. You know what I'm saying? Because I can cook and clean, but I don't believe in the old protect and provide thing. We wouldn't have to provide if women made the same amount. We wouldn't have to protect if we weren't doing our job as men. You know what I'm saying? And protecting is protecting women's rights. It's not just physically being a brute. We got to look at where we are now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, life has changed. It's 2019.
So how have your experiences and your travels as an artist since you became more global shaped you as a person or helped you to evolve and mature?
I think that I know now what, and this is my message for 85 to Africa and in general for the rest of my life. I feel like I know now what we have to do as a people. And I'm just one person. While I put my 2 cents in, I may be wrong. I didn't go to Oxford now. But I know this,
right, that
other groups built up their communities here by having an outside nation that they could flow money through. Because you get hooked up on deals. So if you're Chinese American, Jewish American, Italian American, Irish American, all these Americans were once at the bottom. How did they rise to the top? It wasn't just money from America. You start moving money away and back in. The root of currency is current. The way to make money, as you all know, is to move it. So that's what we have to do. The hoods ain't going to change out here just by us circulating just $1. So I've seen that, and I see how we can do it in different industries by maneuvering between Africa, which can still be a manufacturing place, and in the U.S., which is a service place. On a very big scale, I just feel big and empowered in terms of us as a majority and not a minority. That's the essential message I think I'm trying to promote.
Oh. One thing we've been talking about a lot on Hood Rich Radio, man, there's just a surplus of just gun violence everywhere. I mean, mass shootings here. The hood, you know what happens in the hood. Yeah. Even overseas, when I call back home, it seems like even gun violence might be picking up in Africa, just all over the world, man. What do you think is the solution? We know it's not an easy thing to just solve, but what do you think is the first primary steps in controlling some of this gun violence?
I don't think it's all over the world. I think it happens here and there, but for them, it's like it's shocking. Mm-hmm. For us, even mass shootings is normalized. I think what happened in El Paso and Dayton, in that same week, 11 people were shot near my hood in Brownsville. I'm from East Flatbush in Brooklyn, but Brownsville's right there. And that didn't make the headlines. You know what I'm saying? But that's because it's standard in Brownsville. But for Brownsville was shocked, you know what I'm saying, and deserves some attention as well. The solutions, other countries did it. This is not
rocket science,
neuroscience.
Yeah,
how do we get to a place where people don't shoot each other? I don't know. You just get rid of the guns. That's how. The problem is there's so many out there, right?
And they're ramping up the production.
Yeah, and when your neighbors have it, you know what I'm saying? When I lived in Atlanta for a little bit. Right after the Classic Man phase, I moved here. Was just playing it low key. I didn't want to be all up in my same neighborhood when the song popped off. And my neighbors it was just outside of Atlanta, and they were Georgian neighbors, if you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so we had our ammunition and our weapons, and that's it's hard for me to be you take away your gun It's one of those things. Like, who's gonna drop the gun first? But we actually, I don't have the solution, but we have to get rid of them. If it's generation by generation, I don't know how you do it, but it's not gonna work. We're gonna blow ourselves up if we keep going this way. But every other country started doing that. They was like, all right, we're gonna get rid of these. So I just don't know what that process is like, because
when they did the federal gun buyback program, I forget which president it was, then all of our gun violence went down substantially.
Yeah.
Now the NRA says that the only way we're going to stop this is to have more guns and everybody needs to have a gun. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But that's the powers that control
That's the world we live in.
You know what I'm saying? So Jidenna's spare time, man. Not in the studio, not touring. What's your spare time like? You just told us you can cook. You just told us a little bit about some of this personal stuff that's going on.
Spare time.
If you have it.
Like, where do you shop? That's what we want to know. Where do you shop?
Yeah.
I don't shop.
You don't shop. So
Like this is from like a beauty supply store around the hood. This is like a bandana. This is from the bodega. They had some.
Are you serious?
But everything else on me was made. So I don't like, we tailor make our stuff. When I'm talking about, I go to different cities in Africa and I make the clothes for the year. And not like, if you see me in a denim jacket, we made that. Wow. Unless like I went to a Levi's store and they were like, here's some free stuff. And they always give you free things when you don't actually need it anymore. I needed it when I was broke, not now. But we make everything. And I just found a homie in Dakar who makes sneakers, which they kind of look like Dunks. And so I'm going to, like, next time I come in, head to toe. But that's what we do. And I get it for cheap. I get it on the low in the market. And we make it, literally. You go into these deep markets where, like, there's literally textiles and fabrics that are, like, 100 feet tall. And it's sweaty and it's dingy. And they got it from Indonesia or China. And then you bargain with the tailor and bring them all the way down. And that's where my Nigerian side comes out.
How long does that take?
Right. Number one.
Probably less than y'all spend shopping. I know what I want. Like, I can bring anything. Like, all right, you got, I don't know, those cargo pants or whatever. I'll bring that and be like, here, can you make this? And dude's like, yeah, we can make it.
You feel like it's better quality, it lasts longer?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's better quality. You also put money into black people's pockets. You stunting on somebody for less. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not, red carpet wearing somebody else's name. Why am I gonna big up some European designer? They already got money. We need it. And we styling on people, but we get used. So now we have to be the pawn that gets to the end of the board and then switches to the queen or the king. That's where we at. But until we do that, we're going to be broke as masses, and we're going to be talking about black excellence, but it's only going to be one. The excellent one, the excellent woman, the excellent man. How do we lift everybody at the same time? That's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in, you say you just teach one at a time. You reach one. Yeah. Man, when you go to a forest fire, you take a fire extinguisher and just extinguish one tree at a time, and you happy with yourself? Right. Nah, man.
So Jidenna is now president. What are some of the things you would do to help minorities?
Help minorities? Yeah. Let me start with women specifically.
Start with women. Okay.
Yeah, because that's one of the first things that I would do. One, I don't ever want to be president. Okay. I want to be
So say you're a powerful leader.
Yes, okay. Yeah. The first thing I would institute a longer maternity leaves and then paternity leave.
I like that.
A paternity leave, what that's going to do, Iceland did this, is it will force men to take leave and take care of the children in a more even ratio compared to women. That's where the gender gap comes, is women are penalized in this country for becoming mothers. So if men will actually take care of children the same amount of time, then what happens, you take like a lawyer, there was a documentary Explained on Netflix that kind of lays it out. You take two lawyers at the same time, right? They're both have the equal amount of accolades on their resume. At one point, when the woman gets pregnant, she's no longer in the bar. She's no longer going on a trip with the partners to kind of schmooze and work her way up the ladder. The husband will be, or the baby father, he will be. He's making it, and he's going to make more money. By the time she gets back to work, They don't want to mess with her no more. She hasn't been in the office. They think that when she has a picture of her child that she's distracted. When a man has a picture of a child, he's a man and he's a good family person. It's a whole different thing. And so she can't make her way back up. She won't become partner. That's how it happens. And they're the same person, just different genders. So
how do you think that the way society is structured now particularly affects the kids, though?
What do you mean by that?
Not having a long enough maternity leave, and because the mother might feel some women work up till the very last moment, like I have to work.
Mm-hmm.
When obviously, pregnancy is a very big thing, and you need to take some time to yourself just because you're about to bring a human.
My mother was working up. I'm good. Like I don't know. Like I'm fine. Like I work too. Maybe that's what happens. You become very industrious and determined. I don't think nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I don't think women should be taking care of the children more than men. It may be a little bit. I mean, the woman carries. I think there's differences. But I think that's one of the first things that I care about. The second thing, and I'm taking this from Rwanda, where 65% of the parliament is women. So I would put more women in office than men and see what happens. I want to go around where things ain't working this way. You know what I mean? So you got to flip it up.
Too much testosterone.
You got to flip it up. We out of balance. So that to me will affect everybody. The next thing is, I know there's a lot of conversation about reparations. I don't want to speak to the standard reparations money talk. I want to speak to free education for black people. I want to speak to HBCUs and high schools that are Afrocentric and free trips to Africa, to the country where your DNA is from or the country that you just like. That will change us. A check is only going to do so much. And it's going to be too difficult, honestly, I believe in reparations, but that conversation is so difficult because there's going to be all these suffering wars, like who suffered the most? Jamaicans or people from Alabama? Do the Africans that were colonized get reparations as well? How does it work? It's a huge thing, and we're way bigger than the Jewish diaspora in numbers. But when Jewish people did it, all they talked about was accounting. When we do it, we still try and defend ourselves and get distracted by a Republican says that we don't need reparations. I'm not with that. I don't even want to focus on what they say. We need to focus on us.
Okay, absolutely. Gems from Jidenna right here on Hood Rich Radio. Now, we got to talk about these two bangers you just dropped, man. What made you decide to put out not one but two records right now?
Because I've been gone for not 1 but 2 years.
We're going to talk about that too, man. Yeah, talk to us a little bit about the hiatus and then lead up to the records.
I mean, it was a hiatus for y'all, not for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was running laps in my mind. I was running through different African countries. I lived in Africa for 6 months. And then it was coming back here trying to readjust to the U.S. that felt like it had changed in the time that I was gone. So that's why I was like, I owe it to people that supported me, even when everybody's like, he's whack. He's never coming back. They still stayed there. So I wanted to give them a lot of content. I still got more. And I did 3 albums. So I'm good. They're in the tuck. I got content for days now. So that's I wanted to deliver on my promise, which is what I felt like I owed the people.
How did you deal with that, dealing with the naysayers saying that you weren't going to come back, saying that you were a potential one-hit wonder? Like, how did you deal with it?
For the one-hit wonder thing is so funny because it's like being mad at a baller for having 1 ring.
Right.
It's like, man, Kevin Garnett, you trash, bro.
Right.
Dirk Nowitzki, man, like that all-star. They your MVP, that don't mean nothing, dog. Like, there's some people like Chris Paul don't even got a ring. Harden don't got a ring. Is Harden not baller? Like, these are ballers. So I'm not tripping about that. And the second thing is, like, I'm here for I'm about to do the 50 Cent line.
Okay,
I'm here for a real reason. No, but actually, just like him, I didn't get shot as many times. Like I shot once. I know what I'm here for. So I was never worried about that. There was never one hit. What I was worried about was my own mind tricking me into being a perfectionist. It's the worst thing that you can be. You know what I mean? Trying to be your best all the time can sometimes be the worst.
Didn't Prince say, somebody else said that? I forget.
Prince?
Was it Prince that said
Nah,
that?
I don't know.
No,
Prince don't seem like.
It might not have been Prince, but it was somebody that was saying that a perfectionist can lead to depression.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Always.
I've been depressed many times. Like that's natural. I don't even know anybody who isn't or hasn't been. I think for me it was just like get out of my own way, and get back to and just just give, serve, give, serve, give. That's where I'm at. I'm so like I'm really living right now like I'm on my deathbed. I don't mean to be morbid, but like I know that this interview, anytime I'm talking now, is as if I'm staring at myself on that deathbed, knowing that every moment I'm saying what I'm here to do. Or when you know the new agey folks say walking in his purpose. He's so purposeful. Yeah.
Hey, purpose.
Nah. Shout out to Jovi. Jovi was one of the founders of International Day of Purpose. So I'm joking, Jovi. It's just, you know, I that's how I'm living. That's how I'm working. So I'm not worried. You know what I mean? At all. I just want to keep giving.
Dope.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you coming back to Hood Rich Radio. We always support Jidenna, man.
For sure, man.
New tunes you can play and all that. Let them everybody know what they can expect from you the rest of the summer and give them your Instagram.
Hey, Instagram, Jidenna. Jidenna, not Jedediah, not Jidenna.
Jidenna.
Not J-I-D.
Yeah, Jidenna. It's like Madonna, Rihanna, Jidenna. What you doing for Jidenna? What you can expect is 85 to Africa tours coming up. I'll be back in Atlanta. I'll be worldwide. I'll start domestic, and then I'm going to Africa. And I will say, for the record, I'm the first U.S.-based artist that started his promo in Africa. I did it with the first album. I did it in Dakar, Senegal. These pop-ups that we just did in the basement, and we did in Philly, and we doing it in the hoods around the world. It started in Dakar, Senegal. I did it again. I'm going to do it until I go. Like, that's what it is. 85 to Africa, baby.
Hell yeah.
Big shouts out to Jidenna, man. You know what it is. Hood Rich Radio 96.7 The Beat. Salute.